Thank you for inviting me to this debate. I'm truly looking forward to having a respectful discussion with my opponent in this race.
I do ask the moderators here to please always remember to call me Senator. I have worked so very hard for that title.
America needs smaller government. And we also need jobs so everyone has an opportunity and feels like a contributing member of society.
My opponent is clearly a racist. She cannot stand the idea of a black person being in office. Why, just the other day she was in a restaurant and asked for white bread for her sandwich. White bread. Can you even imagine that?
Our economy is in trouble. The current administration has spent $2 trillion mostly on other government groups, and unemployment is still close to 10%. We have to rein in spending and get the economy going again.
My opponent, if she has the chance, would not only lay off every teacher, but would then lay off mothers who homeschool at home, and then take Sesame Street off the air, and then math flashcards would have to go, and then Dora the Explorer.
7,500 pages of regulations have confused businesses, who have no stable environment in which to create jobs. These businesses need good stability and fair taxes in order to grow our economy.
If you listen closely, she just loves the rich. Nightly she goes down to Wall Street and takes a bath in gold bullion and rare gold coins while you people suffer and go without homes and food, and without me getting my private Gulfstream jet this year.
If elected, I would look into every spending program that we have and reverse those that can be reversed without hurting the American people. For example, I would first allow medical insurance to be purchased across state lines to lower costs, and I'm for tort reform to lower costs even further.
My opponent is not only a witch, a failing which she totally agrees with, but she is also wearing white shoes long after she should. I also hear that she does not floss. What kind of person does that? Not someone that you would want to elect to Congress.
I would look into the real reasons for the last recession, which was a housing mortgage recession, and examine the workings of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, who write half the mortgages in this country, to see what their part was in that recession.
My opponent takes in foreign money for her campaign. We have it on film that she in fact received change from a Paris bistro while they're on vacation. The shame of it all. We need a full disclosure of all money she took in since 5 years old, and where from, and also where her clothes came from that she is wearing today, and the names and addresses of all of her previous boyfriends and girlfriends, plus her last 200 internet searches.
I would also be tough on Homeland Security. With so many people dead just south of our border, and that violence now starting to come across that border into our country, we need to get quite serious about closing that border.
Do you know what is planted in front of her house? A bush. A bush. Bush ruined this country and everything inside of it, and yet she still plants a bush. Of course, what do you voters know? You all are dumb and need to be led by someone like me.
And we also need to get more serious about the threat of terrorists to this country. Our country has had 3 recent attacks by extremists. One of them has resulted in a number of deaths. After 9/11 we were vigilant, and now we have lost our way and need to get back on track.
My opponent is clearly guilty of Islamophobia. Just last week she refused to consider taking down the Statue of Liberty and putting a mosque on Ellis Island instead to welcome Muslims. This is America. Muslims have the right to freedom of religion.
Final words. Well, if elected, I will represent each of you in Washington and stop the reckless spending there and make us proud of our country again.
Have I mentioned that she does not recycle? The carbon damage from her has raised the Earth's temperature 1,032 degrees last year, frying penguins and messing up my summer vacation.
Good night, good citizens. I love you.
Bite me.